Hello YouTube, this is Cole with the Schwers and Gears channel. You're looking at some of the tools I used to repair the floors of my 1958 Baja Bug. The floors right now are kind of in progress, but they should be finished shortly. Now, what we have in front of us here is an Eastwood 19-inch bead roller and a cheaper Amazon brand English wheel. I can find the details on that later, posted in the description below. But essentially what we have here are the basics you're going to need for sheet metal forming. Now these tools, are they perfect? Are they great? Maybe not. There's a lot to be desired, but they work excellent for what they're meant for, and they came in handy for me. Here's a practice piece I'd done. Basically, the English wheel you're going to use to pre-stretch any of the areas that you're going to lay down a bead. And there's tons of videos here on YouTube about how to use an English wheel, how to use a bead roller. I am not the best at it. I am 100% an amateur. This is the first time I've ever touched these tools, but I got it done. Is it beautiful? Is it perfect? No. But the point of this video is you can do it. I recommend you try it. They're useful tools to have in your shop. My Baja Bug will later in the video, we'll see the bug and the floor progress at my dad's garage. But anyway, what we're going to see is the factory floor pans in a Volkswagen dip down below the rest of the floor line. And for an off-road car, I was worried a little bit about clearance. So we ended up flattening the floor out so I can put a skid pan under the car. We'll see more of that later, like I said. So anyway, it was a great purchase. I like both of these tools. Follow the directions as much as you can. The Eastwood bead roller came with a great set of directions. I wish I would have followed them more closely, in that it recommends that you have a buddy with you to crank the handle as you guide your piece and get all your beads straight. Some of mine came out a little bit crooked. You know, for the floor pans, it really doesn't matter. For me, they don't need to be beautiful. They're going to get bed lined anyway. I really was just in it for the strength and rigidity. You'll also find that it's very easy with the English wheel to overstretch your piece or not stretch it enough to where your final product is going to have a distortion. It may be oil canny, or it might be concave. It may need either shrinking or stretching is the better way to say it. Like this piece right here. If I was going to put that in something, which of course I'm not, it's just a sample piece, it would need a thorough amount of shrinking because I overstretched. And there's several ways you can do that, with heat and quenching the metal, with shrinking hammers and dollies, or with a sheet metal shrinker or stretcher if you need be. So we can look at that tool as well. I've got one at my dad's house that we were using. So anyway, that's all for this portion of the video. We will see you later while we're looking at the bug. Out. All right, so now we're in my dad's garage where the 58 Baja Bug is being stored. Thank you, Dad. Here we're looking at one of my rough cut patch panels for the passenger side rear floorboard. I used both the English wheel and my bead roller to create the beads you see here. Earlier in the video we discussed those tools and how I use them. This is all 20 gauge sheet metal. It's plenty thick and it's plenty strong. This piece from here is going to be cut to fit based on the hole it's going to fit into, and then shrunk to provide a little bit more rigidity and get any of the oil can out of it. And from there we can weld it on in. You can see I'm about 80% of the way done on the driver's side. There's still a few things we have to do. The rear portion here, I'm not quite certain how I'm going to finish it. I know I'm going to butt weld a piece in, or I may end up using some riv nuts and giving myself a removable panel for cleaning. I'm not quite sure. One issue that we talked about with the English wheel is going to be overstretching, and that's kind of what happened in this seam here. These seams are flanged. I drilled them for Cleco fasteners, and I'm going to have to do some shrinking because the metal is overstretched. So when I weld that, I think we're going to get creative and use a wet rag as I weld every 4 or 5 inches and see if I can shrink that back up. If not, we can try some other things. You can see on the inside edge of the tunnel, I've spot welded in the original location of the factory pans, and everywhere else I just used my little handy flux core welder, and we've butt welded it. Pretty easy. I'm not a fabricator. I'm not a professional welder, but hey, it worked pretty well. I used the technique that I saw on Bondo Billy's channel, and hey, it worked out pretty good. Here's another panel, the other side, and you can see we've started to spot weld, and it looks good. I'm gonna have to do some fitting up here, and we'll get these Harbor Freight clamps in place, and we'll slowly start to weld that guy in. You can see, similarly to this side, I've used a Harbor Freight flanging tool to provide the flange. The pieces had to be cut in half based on the depth of all of the bead roller and the English wheel. So little bit at a time. You can do floors. They're hard. It's been a major challenge, but it's been a lot of fun, and you can see they're pretty strong. So I'm fairly heavy, so they're pretty stout. We will see some patch panels made for the package tray coming up pretty soon. That's my next kind of major hurdle. I don't know exactly when we're going to do that, but it's coming up. Anyway, guys, don't have too much fun. See you later.